Speaking of helping people, have y'all been in here? Have we done a live since your open house meetup? Do you want to break that down a little?
Oh no, we
No,
haven't.
we
See how
haven't.
that
We
went?
haven't
We
been
haven't.
back
Yeah,
in.
that was
The next one is next week, next Thursday, open house.
Oh, cool.
It's on Eventbrite.
So
That was great. It was great turnout. We had shitload of people show up, and we actually went around. It took us a little while to actually get that format to take.
Well, I think one, it was our first one for us in the new space. So we had a Christmas party, which was like pretty much invite only. Like if you knew who we were, that's how you got in, which was great. We had 60 or 70 people there. We had fun. It was a good night. The open house, we were trying to open dialogue, right? Right. We were trying to get investors to share,
To force them to interact with one another.
yeah, to
right?
share and ask questions. And so we're not competition. I mean, we are, but we're not competition, and we can help one another, right? It's a great community. So a good amount of people showed up. It was awesome. I think we're gonna have more. Now it's next week. I didn't realize that. Thanks.
It's every third Thursday.
Third Thursday of every month. So, I think we need new pizza, different pizza. That was
yeah.
unacceptable.
No, that was definitely unacceptable.
But it was great because people were able to hear
What's working? What's not
what
working?
was working for us at our level, where we're getting our deals from, who we're dispoing or how we're dispoing, and what our overall strategies are. And then they got comfortable with us to where then they started, we just opened it, everyone introduced themselves and then kind of like just go around the room and chat, and then, hey, what do you need help with, kind of thing. And overall, I think a lot of people made connections. I mean,
There was a couple that we paired off right away and like, hey, what can we help you with? Oh, I need this. That person can do it. And change numbers.
Yeah,
and,
it was great in
yeah.
that regard because, and that, I think that, and it's a very common thought process in entrepreneurship, that I have to do something for someone to give me money. In other words, if someone introduces me to you, well, what's the benefit to them to introduce us to? Well, I know Nick, and but you don't know Nick, and if I introduce you, you're going to cut me out. Well, you didn't bring anything to the table, but maybe the triangle would form itself if you saw the business the business transaction that we could make, right?
We was talking about that. It's like it's the scarcity.
Yeah, it's a scarcity mentality,
and it's you're almost like projecting on yourself, right? You're not bringing enough or whatever, so your insecurities are then projecting and just fucking with you.
Well, and the reason that I brought it up like that is because when you come on Thursday, next Thursday, when they show up to talk to us, don't be afraid to name drop. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I did a deal with so-and-so, or, I was going to sell this to so. Like, name dropping in a sense of, I'm trying to do more. I did this. That was my experience there. Would that benefit you? So we're very much of the mindset that we want to, hey, if I can connect you to Casey, who does mobile homes, I don't need anything for that, right? In fact, my life would be more complicated if you called me with a mobile home and then I took it upon myself, amongst a plethora of other things I have to do, to try to wiggle a couple $1,000s out of it and do the deal between you, who you probably don't own it. It's probably, some sort of wholesale like, it's way more work, right, than the money I'm trying to make. And so I think that by having that abundance mentality, I'm trying to show that, hey, you don't have to get paid on every transaction, but that's the epitome of network net worth,
Yeah.
right? It's not my network pays me every time I do something.
Listen,
That's
if I
not
do
it.
one deal with you, that's all I'm going to make because of that one deal,
Yeah.
right? Or for whatever reason. But if I help you, there's future down the road. We're going to be in the same network for years, right? Everybody works together. This is if you're in DFW, shit. Even if in all of the United States, how many investors do we know from California, Arizona, St. Louis, Kansas City, all over, right? That we have been talking to, we've been friends with for years. They're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. So help everybody out, right? It's not hard. There's nothing. There's no secret sauce. Just it's talking to sellers, helping them out, solving an issue, right? Like moving on.
But it's not about the transaction. Get out of the transaction mode, right? It is transactionary that's how you make money, but get out of that mode to where this one deal or me making this introduction, I'm losing.
Yeah.
That's that negative mindset doesn't lead you to fruitful relationships. My negative mindset this morning, sitting and waiting extra 10 minutes for my coffee, I wasn't grumpy. I wasn't grumpy. I didn't say anything bad. And they gave me my coffee for free. So, that was a great outcome. Does the guy who gave me the free coffee know that I'm talking about it live on? No, he doesn't. But at the same point, I have mad respect for them because he knows that paying it forward is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think the meetup,
Mastermind,
open house, whatever the hell.
The open house.
The open house is great because if you need a deal funded or you got a wholesale deal or you got screwed out of a deal and you're trying to figure out like you just are lost or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
we had a guy come there and offering tax help. Like it was great. It was really great. Now I'm excited for the next one next week because afterwards I had so many people come up and just give us great feedback, right? They're always tired of going to events where you get up and you have one guy stand up there and talk about how he's crushing it and this is how he's the best, and you don't get any wealth of knowledge from it, right? Like you get motivation, stuff like that, but going every time, it gets redundant. So this is something that isn't available to a lot of people, and
or some people like we have
Yeah.
one actually next Thursday morning. Thanks is ours. So we have one in the morning,
I
and
won't be
then
there.
we have to host the evening one. Again, I think it's one thing Mike Hanna says all the time is like one of the best decisions he ever made when he first started got into real estate was.
Joining a mastermind.
He got a really good mastermind, and if you're in a good mastermind, like help better it. If you're in a bad mastermind, either help better it or get the fuck out.
Yeah. The whole point of a mastermind is almost like it's a hive, right?
Yeah.
Everything. It's not one person, right? It's everybody. It's a collective genius almost. And I just fucking name dropped that, but I didn't mean it. But yeah, that's what it is, right?